job.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas?
Dixon Street. It'll get you.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious...
Jones for the win. He got it. He got it. He got it. Mason Jones banks in a three with 0.1 seconds to play.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
Hi, hello, how are you? And good Monday to all listening in here. Halftime, Phil Elson, SmackDown, Matty T.
He's back.
All together again, got our three Musketeers. That's right. Matty, we made it through Friday's show without you, shockingly. Hope you had a good time up there in Branson. We enjoyed ourselves Friday. Had a
good.
Nice weekend.
I heard part of it as I was driving through Harrison on our Harrison station. You guys sounded good.
Well,
it was weird.
We had a good time. I think we had a good time on Friday, and it was nice over the weekend. Lots of games, lots of dramatic moments. No college football, of course. We're not too far away from a game sometime in the next, week and a half? We'll actually have the beginning of the football season. We're now about a little more than a month away. What is it, 31, 32 days away from the kickoff of the SEC football season? I should know. We've got our rundown. We've got our countdown on the station that airs about
should be
30 an hour.
I think it's 32 days away, if I'm not mistaken.
That was about right.
Or 33.
33. See? Matty T's already
According to our top of the hour legal ID.
One of the things we got into on Friday was a preseason football poll put out by the Sporting News, which did not include the teams that aren't playing in the fall. Anybody out of the MAC, Mountain West schools, and Big Ten and Pac-12. The AP has put their preseason top 25 out just about an hour ago, in fact. And they also detailed the process, well, not the process, but what the poll's going to look like during this very odd college football season. You are going to have a preseason poll that includes all 130 FBS playing football schools. So anybody that is not playing in the fall is still potentially part of this preseason top 25. But they're not part of the top 25 once the season begins. So at that point, I mean, you've got Ohio State ranked second, Penn State ranked seventh, Oregon ranked number 9, Wisconsin 12, Michigan 16, USC 17, Minnesota 19, Utah 22, Iowa 24. They all go away as if they do not exist once football season begins and the media starts sending their poll out week by week. So then it'll start looking a lot more like the Sporting News poll, which included the point that we made is you saw 6 top 10 teams from the Sporting News poll on the Arkansas schedule. And really, when you look at how they've put together the top 25 for the AP, it's pretty much the same thing. You know, you're going to lose Ohio State, Penn State, and Oregon out of the top 10, which means that Auburn would slide up. Auburn's number 11. They'd move into the top 10. Texas A&M is number 13. That would move them to number 10. And then you continue with Florida, LSU, Georgia, and Alabama. So there again, just like the Sporting News preseason poll SmackDown, you got 6 Arkansas opponents in the top 10. So no difference, one poll to another.
It's crazy to think about, but I mean, now you got 7 in the top 25. When you look at it all together, Tennessee squeaking in at number 25, and kind of just the same argument you made that if once the polls start happening, Auburn would slide into the top 10. Tennessee's just going to move up that much higher. Being an 8-5 Tennessee team, that kind of surprised me that they're ranked as high as that they are. But that's 7 of your 10 all-SEC opponents in the top 25. And so you can look at this from the negative aspect that we have all throughout the whole scheduling process, or you can look at it like the players are, because I think it was Ricky Stromberg shared it on Twitter. It's like it's another opportunity to shock the world when you got 7 of the top 25. So you can look at it from both aspects.
Well, it's interesting to have a preseason poll that includes all the teams, and
It
then
is.
once you start playing, you only have the 76 that are playing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what's the preseason poll supposed to do? Because really, it doesn't have anything to do with anything outside of what
Us.
we're doing right now in
Yep.
sports radio, having conversations. Football fans love talking about preseason polls. All this is a snapshot of what the season would look like under the right circumstances. This is what it would look like as of right now. Once the season begins, it no longer looks like that. So you can only include the teams that are actually playing. So let the conversations begin. Although really the conversations really start once the season starts. So we're still a ways off from that. Nobody in the top 10 plays for another, a couple of weeks. When is Oklahoma's first game? I'd forgotten when the Sooners open up the season, but I know that'll be the first of any of the top 10 teams to get out there and play. I wonder, does the AP put out a poll after the first week of Big 12 games? OU starts on September the 12th. Do you put a poll out the week after that, even though most of the other football leagues aren't playing? The SEC is not. Maybe you do. I don't know. But it's good to see that it feels like a little normalcy, right? When you see Ohio State number 2, when you see Penn State number 7, I mean, these are usually about where a lot of these schools slot in a normal year. So it feels like one area of normalcy for a college football season that's going to have virtually no normalcy. But then again, I mean, here we are. It's August the 24th, and we're still a couple of weeks away from a single game being played. So that also makes it a little bit different than usual.
LSU being slotted at number 6 seemed kind of low to me, I guess. I figured they'd be higher just being, by default, the defending national champ, but being at number 6, I guess, for all that they lost in that poll, or lost last season heading into this season, could be why they're slotted that way. Brett and Spyro text in. Spyro, Oklahoma, he's happy with where his Sooners are.
He's always got something to say about the Sooners, yeah.
Poor guy.
Well, why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he? They are in a good position here. We'll be talking about that top 25 with Connor O'Gara in about 23 minutes from Saturday Down South. Also want to bring up an article that one of Connor's coworkers at Saturday Down South had referred to. And it's one of the more fun things to read preseason. And I guess some of this comes out in the summer because Athlon is usually the first of the preseason publications to be published. I think that was the same thing this year. And what Athlon is known for is getting coaches to anonymously talk trash or say nice things about other programs in their conference. So this is where you start to get some of the real truth from the way coaches view their potential opponents throughout the season instead of the coach speak that you'll get at press conferences leading into each game. And I guess you might as well just go to what they say about Arkansas in the very first. And you don't know who's saying this, but these are SEC coaches who have an understanding about other teams in the SEC. They're looking at the roster, looking at the hires made by new head coaches, and it's rare moments of honesty through the media when talking to a coach. Does it say any different? Does it say is there a quote that could that I feel like Arkansas fans would disagree with this one. This feels more like what you were going into last year thinking. Quote, it's a total mess from top to bottom, unquote. Like, I don't feel you're in that situation right now.
I completely disagree with that.
It doesn't feel like this is a total mess. And it's before the first game is played. Who knows whether or not this is a total mess by the middle of December, but that feels more like a 2019 quote. Even going into the season, you just had a sense that it wasn't going to be a good year, and it wasn't. I don't have that feeling going into this next season.
I agree with the second one that's listed here, and you can find this on Athlon Sports. What's the identity of the program? Are they a hard-nosed smash-mouth team? That didn't work. Not necessarily the whole quote, but we don't really know what this team is. Because
it's pretty
leading
rare
up to
for the I don't know if we're going to find that identity in the first season. You know what I mean? Like, maybe the toughness is the aspect
that's
that
fine.
they
Just
really
something
need to add.
Yeah, not necessarily looking like we're in like a spread it out, pass throw, whatever, that kind of a team. what else can you bring to the table? And I think you're right. Toughness is going to be the number one thing that you'll see different from this team, whether it be effort or whatever it may be.
Well, I think toughness is the one thing that was more than anything lacking the past couple of years.
Yeah.
You know, there were some issues with speed, obviously. There were issues with depth. There were issues with size at a lot of those positions. This team's got some speed where they need it. This team has now guys that have put on some size in the last year, certainly on the offensive line. This is a team that has seriously lacked toughness. And you wonder, like, where does that get installed? Does it come from coaches? Does it come from the kids just being tough in and of themselves? I think when you bring in a guy like Sam Pittman, the first thing you're looking to do before anything else is get tough. That's what this team was lacking. We don't know if they're lacking it yet. 877-377-6963. We will be right back.
The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
You know, at some point, we got to quit always dragging in last year or the last 2 years into the reasoning of why this year can't have some independence of its own and some success on its own. Well, at some point, the last 2 years it has to quit mattering, and you got to move forward. And I think that's exactly what we're talking about here this morning.
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3.
Your locally owned
Furniture August Back to School Sale. We are giving away this USA-made custom leather sectional on August 31st at 4:30 p.m. Must come in to register. In August, discounts on all furniture and mattresses to our finance and cash customers.
You can't discount and give away furniture.
I'll do what I want to do.
I still run this show. I just let her think she does. It was my idea in the first place.
What'd you say?
Nothing, honey. Frank Roll Furniture. Best seats in the house.
When you're looking for outdoor power equipment, head to R-Track, where we've got the area's best selection of tractors and mowers. Check out our side-by-side UTVs, Argo Amphibious XTVs, and Hammerhead go-karts. We rent professional quality equipment and service everything we sell. Stop by today. Get the R-Track advantage.
Off I-40 at exit 58 at 219 East Taylor Road in Clarksville. You can check out their inventory online at rtrack.com.
Tax. They invest in their people, offering great benefits like medical, dental, vision, holidays, vacation, 401k, and pension. At International Paper, they do the right things in the right ways for the right reasons all of the time. That's the IP way. Apply at internationalpaper.com/careers. International Paper is an equal opportunity affirmative action employer. All qualified applicants will receive consideration for employment without regard to sex, gender identity, sexual orientation, race, color, religion, national origin, disability, protected veteran status, age, or any other characteristic protected by law.
Elite Roofing is a locally owned roofing contractor. If you're building a new home or maybe need a new roof on your existing home, Elite Roofing can take care of you. Elite Roofing is known for their dependability and reliability. Just ask any of their satisfied customers. They are licensed and insured, and references are available upon request. If you need a roof, call your local roofing contractors. Elite Roofing, 478-8668. That's 478-8668. Elite Roofing, 478-8668.
Hey, Ty Richardson for A Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. They service commercial and residential lawns for weed management and fertilization for a lush, healthy lawn. Need bush hogging? They do that too. A Cut Above can make that driveway and fence look brand new with a good power washing. You don't have to put up with those unwanted pests either. Call today and get started with the flea, tick, and mosquito treatment to start enjoying the outdoors again. More than just a mowing service, they're A Cut Above. Call or text today at 479-719-5605. Lawn, landscaping, power washing, stump grinding, leaf removal, mulching, flea, tick, and mosquito control. 719-5605.
Hey, this is David Owen with Washita Farms. We grow hemp in Central Arkansas and process it into full-spectrum CBD products. Washita Farms products are affordably priced and available online or conveniently located at nearly 200 stores across the state. All Washita Farms CBD products are tested at C-Pill Labs in Little Rock to ensure that you will always get what you expect. Find us online today and use this code at checkout.
Washita Farms! Go to WashitaFarms.com and use code WPS15 at checkout of your purchase.
We're now living in uncharted waters with the spread of COVID-19. With the partial closing of a lot of businesses, sadly, some will soon try and turn your possessions into their possessions. Guardtronic has been providing security for homes and businesses for over 60 years. Whether you need a camera system to keep an eye on things or a complete home security system, call Guardtronic 479-785-2323 or go online to guardtronic.com. We have so many worries these days, safety should not be one of them. License E50.
This is ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Smackdown Jenkins.
Put your hand down. You smiling?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Why are you smiling?
Because I love football. Football's fun.
Fun, sir.
Fun, sir.
It's fun.
Yes.
You sure?
I think.
Now you're thinking. First you smile, then you think. You think football is still fun?
Yes.
Sir?
Yes. No.
No?
Sir. But it was fun.
Not anymore, though, is it? Is it?
No, not right
now. No, it's not fun anymore. Not even a little bit.
No.
Make up your mind.
No.
Think. Since you're thinking, now go on. Think.
No,
is it fun?
No, sir.
No.
No, sir.
Absolutely not?
Zero fun, sir.
All right, listen up. I'm Coach Boone. I'm going to tell you all about how much fun you're going to have this season.
Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Smackdown.
I feel I've got to rebalance my diet a little bit here. I don't know how all of you guys are like, but I have like probably 85 to 90% of the food in my refrigerator and pantry is breakfast food.
So
and every once in a while I'll do the breakfast for dinner thing, but it's not like more than once every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I've got sausage, bacon, eggs, cheese, bread, cereals, oatmeal, everything to put inside an omelet. I've got practically nothing for lunch, nothing for dinner. I legitimately will eat a bowl of cereal for dinner sometimes. So
you keep Eggos
I feel
in
like
your
I'm
freezer?
like Jerry Seinfeld right now, Smackdown and Matty T.
What'd you say, Matt?
Do you keep Eggos in your freezer?
I don't. And today is National Waffle Day. So this is a day for folks like you and me. National Cereal Day, stuff like that, right? So, but be careful. Be very careful. Don't go crazy today because one of our favorite joints, SmackDown, Waffle House, is reminding us that don't go crazy today on National Waffle Day.
Okay.
Because there is apparently something called National Waffle Week.
Oh.
And it's the first week of September.
Ooh.
So it's
like a week of Waffle House. Ooh, interesting.
You think you can handle something like that?
Bro, I can handle anything you throw at me. And it's funny you bring up the dining aspect. So Friday, I had to go to the doctor's office and do blood work and get the checkup done. Everything came back, and then he says, Mr. Jenkins, how old are you? And I said, I'm 27. He said, you're a little bit old. You're too young to be having cholesterol problems.
Yeah.
He says, not bad, but we need to lower that cholesterol just a little bit.
So what did you do to celebrate your semi-clean bill of health? You went to Waffle House and ordered scattered,
and then I went to IHOP. I went to IHOP Saturday, went to Waffle House Sunday, and enjoyed myself. Scattered, smothered, covered, chunked, a sausage, egg, and cheese melt, and a pecan waffle, and I was in heaven.
IHOP or Waffle House, buddy?
Waffle House for me. Easy choice.
IHOP's too fancy.
What happened to the Waffle House on MLK in Fayetteville? Because it's gone. Are they remaking this thing? Because Fayetteville is now down 2 Waffle Houses, which I'm a little bummed out about. The one on Dixon turned into a cookie shop, which is fine. Cookies are beautiful, but it's not Waffle House. The one on MLK, gone, torn down. Are they rebuilding this thing? You can't be a college town and be down 2 Waffle Houses when classes start. What's going on here?
You got to have something. I know we've said this on the show. Mine and Matty T's last meal together before the pandemic happened was IHOP, and I love
that
IHOP.
was the cereal
pancakes. Yeah. I love IHOP. Love it. Oh, it'd be great. I go there more for the omelets and pancakes more than anything. Their omelets that they make are incredible.
You ever had an IHOP burger?
I've never had a burger.
You know, that was the dumbest thing when they acted like they were going to change their name to IHOP.
It was burgers.
Yeah. Oh. But then I go in and I was like, I'm never going to eat one of these dumb burgers. And then I had a gift card and like, what the hell? It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad.
I've never went to like breakfast places or something like that to get dinner.
Yeah.
Like I've never went to Waffle House and ordered the steak.
I have, but it was 3:00 in the morning. And,
yeah, well, that's it. Yeah, 3 a.m. or past midnight at Waffle House, all bets are off.
It's because it's not a steak at Waffle House. It's like
it had to be horse
of
meat.
A slice of paper. So
it was rough.
It's more like a steakum than anything else.
But they're always so sweet at Waffle House. It doesn't matter. Like,
yeah, they are.
They're a sweet old lady. She was so, what would you like to drink, honey? Said a glass of Coke, please. Okay, sweetheart.
And they take a big old scoop of lard there and plop it right down on
yes,
there.
whap.
You guys are making me really hungry here.
My cholesterol just went up 10 more points again.
877-377-6963. Anybody out there, an IHOP or a Waffle House guy? If anyone out there is
Does
a VI,
Denny's get any love?
Village Idiot or Denny's, you can let us know too. All right?
I'll tell you this.
We're all breakfast people here.
Oh, love breakfast. Yeah. So I'll put this on Facebook after I did both. out of 100 comments on my Facebook page, like 97 people prefer Waffle House.
Sounds about right.
But I don't think you can compare the two. Food, I mean,
that's all that company worries about. You know, IHOP is, I think, still owned by the company that owns Applebee's.
Yeah.
Applebee's is can I say this? They're not an advertiser. Applebee's is crap. Waffle House just cares about waffles and breakfast, and that's it.
You know, it's funny. We drove by Applebee's last night, and they had the sign for the Dollarita. And my girlfriend says, "It's like, hey, Dollarita." And I was like, "Yeah, we could go there and get that, and then go next door to TGI Fridays for the food."
Oh, man.
B in Clarksville says, pencil me in for the Waffle House. I said Waffle House, excuse me. Greg in Fort Smith says he'll never eat IHOP again. Porter, this is a good one because I think you might have recommended this to me. I know Maddie did when I first got here. Benson's in Fort Smith is absolutely fantastic.
Still haven't hit that one yet.
I wonder if they're open for dining right now. I didn't even think about that.
I hadn't thought about that. We're going to find out because if it's National Waffle Day, we got to try to have something to dine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Chris is right. The Rolling Pin Cafe in Fayetteville is great. Susan's in Springdale on Sunset is pretty darn good too.
Those little mom and pop. Yeah.
I could eat breakfast 3 times a day, maybe once a week.
Absolutely.
Pull this off.
Have y'all ever been to a Huddle House?
Yeah, I've driven by a few.
Never been to a Huddle House.
It wants to be Waffle House so bad.
So badly. That's right. You know, I saw one of the oddest food trucks the other day. It's really just down from where we're doing the show here by Lake Fayetteville. There's that whole parking lot filled with food trucks. Most of them are either Mexican or Asian food or a couple of soul food places. And then there is a cereal truck. You ever seen a cereal truck before?
Interesting.
I've never heard of this. This is the first time I've ever seen anything like that.
Do they do anything special with the cereal, or do they just put it in a bowl with milk?
What else can you do with cereal?
I don't know.
Other than maybe like put cornflakes on chicken and call it fried.
There was a thing for a while, like these like gaming places, you know, they would have like a cereal bar, and I think you could mix up all kinds of cereals and like with different like toppings and stuff too. I think put some whipped cream on there. Maybe.
There's a place up there by the not the Rogers Mall, but the one where Best Buy is and all those places. That's the fresh yogurt place. But you go through there and it's what?
Cherryberry?
Cherryberry, yeah, that's what it was called. But we have walls of different flavors and stuff. That's a good idea. I like that. A cereal food truck. I like that.
Let me. I want to read one of these quotes from the Athlon Sports, anonymous quotes from SEC coaches about other SEC programs. Quote, that they landed on Sam Pittman is really telling. He's a well-respected career assistant, great at his job, but hard to find what he can say or do with that program that could suddenly turn things around. They've got no personnel. The roster right now looks like NCAA sanctions hit them. Now, that also, I believe, would be incorrect. This is a group of running backs, wide receivers, and a respected quarterback. Look, you can say what you want about what the offensive line like the last couple of years. And there's another quote from another coach inside this list that says the offensive line isn't horrible, which I guess is a backhanded compliment of some sort, but horrible is what the offensive line was the past couple of years. Another one says Kendall Briles is a strange hire. Don't have the bodies to run that system, and he's had chemistry issues on other staffs. That hire told a lot of coaches that Sam wasn't alone in making the decisions. You know, there are a lot of coaches here that sound very skeptical of Sam Pittman's ability to turn things around, and I mean, to use the idea, strange hire for Kendall Briles. Maybe for this group that you have, this group of personnel, but this is the first year. Maybe it's a little bit strange, his offense for that personnel group. That doesn't mean that's what it's going to be moving forward.
No.
At all. And whoever says they've got no personnel is not paying attention to the talent at running back, the talent at wide receiver, the talent at quarterback, not just from Felipe Franks, by the way, but also KJ and Malik Hornsby.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I mean,
it really feels like people just felt like piling on, which in some cases, I mean, you can understand. You look at the win-loss record the last couple of years, what else are you going to do?
Well, it's completely understandable where they're coming from. I mean, yes, we can always say what the recruiting's done and what players you've brought in, what the offense could look like and all that. More or less, this just boils down to what have you done for me lately? Hey, what have the Razorbacks done in the past 3 years? Not a damn thing. It's been horrible. So, I mean, you're right. What they're saying, like we got no personnel, the roster looks like sanctions hit them. all that. It's wrong, but they've got a point from where they're coming from. Just because you've won 4 games in 2 years, you haven't won an SEC game in 19 tries. I mean, you can't. There's validity of where that's coming from.
Thought it'd be interesting later on in the show, and we do have Connor O'Gara coming up in the next segment to look. We think that Arkansas has got a good shot at winning 2 of the first 4 games. Week 2 at Mississippi State, week 4 home to Ole Miss. Of course, you got Georgia and Auburn mixed in between there. And I thought it'd be interesting to at least look at those 4 opponents and what their defenses could look like. Because I think Arkansas is going to be able to score some points this year. This is going to be a better offense than you saw the last 2 seasons. And we'll see what they're going up against. I mean, they're going up against one of the best defenses in the country, perhaps in Georgia. Mississippi State, Auburn, Ole Miss, they've got a lot to replace. Maybe Arkansas can score some points against them. Talk about that with Connor O'Gara. Lots of college football convos next.
Making Moves is brought to you by LinkedIn Jobs.
After falling to the Los Angeles Lakers in the 1982 NBA Finals, the 76ers needed to find the right player to build the ultimate winning team. In September of '82, they acquired restricted free agent Moses Malone. They went on to rack up a 65-17 regular season record and followed that up with a 12-1 postseason record. Malone won the regular season and NBA Finals MVP award.
Build your winning team today. Go to linkedin.com/sports.
Adding a leader you need right when you need them. That's how sports teams get ahead and how your business can too. LinkedIn will match the right talent with your open roles fast. Post a job and you'll get great candidates with the right mix of skills, interest, and experience. So every hire you make is a win for your business. Go to linkedin.com/sports and get $50 off your first job post. That's linkedin.com/sports. Terms and conditions apply.
Do you need to trade or just outright sell your car? Bring it to Harry Robinson's Salisaw Ford. Harry will pay top dollar for your vehicle. Harry needs cars right now to stock the lot, and he has always given more for your trade. If you're looking to trade or just looking to sell that extra car, bring it to Harry Robinson's Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisaw.
Harry Robinson, Salisaw Ford.
Miss Anna's on Towson is quickly becoming one of Fort Smith's favorite haunts. We're now serving breakfast from 6 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. 7 days a week. Blue Plate specials served Monday through Friday. And don't forget about 99-cent Pie Tuesday. So whether you're craving some of our great kickin' chicken or one of our world-famous desserts, Miss Anna's is the place to be. 5001 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith, 649-6300. That's 649-6300.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Jelco for hard work and the great outdoors.
With quality and price and comfort you like, and savings that you're looking for.
We've got the shoes and boots, steel toes too, outerwear and a whole lot more.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Jelco
for hard work and the great outdoors.
Ever wonder just how far an extra mile really goes? Drive a Mercedes-Benz van and find out. Start with a network of over 250 authorized dealerships, backed by a sales force ready to help you with everything from customization to service on vans like the Mercedes-Benz Sprinter that's tailored to your lifestyle. With options like Blind Spot Assist and MBUX voice command for spoken directions, weather, and more.
The route is being calculated.
So whether you're enjoying life on the trail or working hard on the job, see how far an extra mile can really go by taking the first step into an authorized Mercedes-Benz van dealership today. Mercedes-Benz vans start at just $33,790. Now with 0% APR financing for up to 60 months.
MSRP on a 2019 Sprinter van excludes all options, taxes, title, registration, transportation charge, and dealer prep fee. Options, model availability, and actual dealer price may vary. See dealer for details about costs and terms. Some equipment described as optional. APR valid on 2019 Sprinter vans, excluding cab chassis, only to qualified commercial customers exclusively through Mercedes-Benz Financial Services at participating dealers through August 31st, 2020.
This is ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
All right, I'll give it a try.
No, try not. Do or do not. There is no try.
The Force?
And the Force is what gives the Jedi his power. It's an energy field created by all living things. It surrounds us and penetrates us. It binds the galaxy together.
Back on Halftime here, we'll go to the phones. Good friend Connor O'Gara joining us from Saturday Down South, the day that the AP preseason poll is released. Connor, I hadn't realized it, but you pointed it out on your Twitter feed. Who voted for Northwestern off of a 1-7 record? This must have been just a comedic moment for this voter, knowing that he wouldn't have to make that vote again this season.
You know, I there's a tab on the AP poll where you can find all the voters, how they voted exactly. And I know Reddit College Football puts that up every single AP poll where they have every single poll from the voters. And I've been waiting to see that. I haven't found it yet. And I don't want to be a jerk about it. I just want to have a conversation about why a team that was 1-8 in the Power 5 conference last year, that was outscored by 15 points per game, that just added a new quarterback from a certain Indiana university, shout out to my alma mater, is all of a sudden worthy of being a top 25 team. That's all the only conversation I really want to have.
So I was reading through these Athlon Sports quotes of anonymous coaches dishing on other SEC programs, and they had a lot of fun with Arkansas. And I'm just not quite sure about what some of these things have said here. The offensive line isn't horrible. Well, they were. Maybe it could be a little bit better. Looks like the NCAA sanctions have hit them. They've got no personnel. I mean, what do you say about wide receivers, running back, quarterback? There's good personnel there. But it is fun reading some of this stuff. I still don't know, though, if I believe all of these quotes that I see from these coaches about Arkansas. Total mess from top to bottom. That sounds more like 2019 than 2020.
Yeah, I didn't understand that either, just because for the exact reasons that you just mentioned. I mean, I have my concerns about somebody like Felipe Franks, and like I said many times, I think he's the Jameis Winston of the SEC. But at the same time, like, the guy he has won a New Year's Six Bowl as starting quarterback at Florida. Like, he's not a slouch. I mean, he was the season-long starter in a Dan Mullen offense. Did pretty good at it. I think that there are a lot of people who are simply looking at the upperclassmen at Arkansas. And if that's the opinion that they have of it looks like a program that's been gutted by sanctions, I think it's more of like maybe from a physical standpoint, they're not going to be able to match up with with those in the SEC, at least at the line of scrimmage, because I do think that's the biggest concern for Arkansas, despite the fact that they added someone in Sam Pittman who obviously knows a thing or two about offensive line play. So I think if you're coming up with that take, you're simply looking at that element. And as we've seen in the SEC, I mean, you got to have those veterans. Going through that strength program is so important, especially at the line of scrimmage. But, I disagree that Arkansas is a significant step behind at the skill player positions when you have someone in Rakeem Boyd who I have no idea how he did it, but averaging 6 yards per carry in the Chad Morris offense will never cease to amaze me. And he did it twice. So, I mean, I think that with the combination of their two stud young receivers, I think makes Arkansas a little bit more promising than those that continue to pour dirt on them would suggest.
A lot of us here in Arkansas are targeting the second game of the season, Arkansas-Mississippi State, as a chance to break what we're expecting to be a 20-game conference losing streak since you opened with Georgia. I think Mississippi State could be on the decline this year. Now, look, I know they've got Costello quarterback, Kylan Hill returning at running back, but I'm just not sure about the rest of that team, and certainly defensively they are going to decline. Plus got a new DC, brand new scheme, lost 7 important players from last year's defense. I think that's a game that Arkansas can win, and I legitimately do think Mississippi State is going to decline badly this next season. What say you?
I don't know how badly they'll decline. I think defensively they're going to take a step back. I mean, that is inevitable. I don't think people really have processed just how much defensive talent they have lost to the NFL the last 2 years. It's staggering. I mean, seriously, like more than half of their rosters, more than half their defensive starters we're talking about, where they have 6-7 guys who are like legitimate early round picks in the NFL, and even someone like Brian Cole as well, who's really important for them as a senior, is another guy who's off to the NFL, and somebody like Willie Gay, who was in and out of the lineup last year because of disciplinary reasons, was really important for that team, and Cam Dantzler as well. I think that's the biggest issue right now, is defensively, even with Zach Arnett, someone who led a San Diego State defense that was number 2 in the country last year, albeit with the support of Rocky Long, who's considered one of the better defensive minds in the sport. I think that this is a very tough Mississippi State group to dissect, because I haven't seen this version of the air raid offense in the SEC, where I do think Mike Leach wants to throw the ball 50 times a game, because that's what he's done in all but 1 year as a Power 5 head coach. I don't know if they have the offensive line to be able to do that. I don't know if they have the offensive line that's going to be able to keep KJ Costello upright and to be able to take advantage of some of those matchups. I am still excited about the idea of seeing Kylan Hill in this offense, but because of all of those moving pieces, I think you're right that it is a potential chance for Arkansas, if it is disciplined on the defensive side of the ball with Barry Odom leading that group, that could be a potential upset opportunity where you're not going to have to worry about, some sort of, like, you're not like going into Mississippi State where there's going to be cowbells rocking or something like that. I think that is definitely an opportunity, and if Arkansas is going to hit the over on that regular season over/under win total, you got to be able to catch a team like Mississippi State early on like that.
Speaking of Connor O'Gara here on halftime, Connor, what about Ole Miss? Because I think obviously Mississippi State should be a good opportunity to break the win streak. Ole Miss is another team that theoretically Arkansas should match up with well. What says you?
Well, the big question that I have with Ole Miss is obviously who's going to be running the quarterback position in Lane Kiffin's offense. Because if it's John Rice Plumlee, I think that's a fascinating team to watch this year, just because of the skill set and all the different things that he has been able to do as a runner, as a true freshman in the SEC. Now, that could really test just how disciplined Arkansas is from a tackling standpoint, because I think with Barry Odom, I've said this multiple times, I think that's the area that they're going to be most improved year one, is you're going to see guys that are actually in position to make plays, and it's not going to look as dire as it did for so much of SEC play for that Arkansas defense. But don't get it twisted. Ole Miss might have been a 4-win team last year. For my money, they were the best 4-win team in the country. They were the most electric 4-win team as well. And I think they returned so much from an offensive standpoint with Elijah Moore, who obviously didn't go out on the best note with the way things ended in the Egg Bowl last year with his infamous celebration. But that team with Jerry Neely just returned so much talent. And I think that's a tough matchup from that standpoint. Now, defensively, I have zero confidence in Ole Miss. I rank them as my worst SEC defense going into 2020, just because I have major questions about the defensive hires that Lane Kiffin made on that coaching staff with DJ Durkin and Chris Partridge. And I'm not sure if they're really the on-the-field guys who are going to turn things around there after Mike McIntyre did such a great job last year in his lone season in Oxford. But, I think that it would really depend on what that Ole Miss offense is going to look like, because John Rice Plumlee is a tough dude to stop. Just ask LSU about that.
Do you think moving forward, as you look ahead, and I assume that the majority of the people probably enjoyed the all SEC schedule, except for Arkansas fans, just because it could end up in the 0-10, 1-9, 2-8 year. But when you look at it as a whole, and there was a lot of positive reaction, especially when they revealed the schedule amongst the media members, do you think this is something that the SEC should consider keeping permanently, or maybe adapting it to like a 10+1, 9+1 model moving forward once the pandemic hopefully is under control? Is this something you think they should look forward to or move forward looking into?
Should look into and will look into are two different discussions. I think that there's a very small percent chance that this actually happens moving forward, for the simple fact that even with this schedule stuff, everything that the SEC does is based on putting its contenders in the best possible position to make the playoffs. And the SEC has been able to have this 8-game conference schedule along with the ACC, while others like the Big Ten went from an 8-game conference schedule to a 9-game conference schedule. Why did the SEC do that, you ask? Well, the SEC feels like, and deservedly so, that its conference schedule is in nature just as tough, if not tougher, than the Big Ten schedule with 9 games, even though the SEC only has 8. So the only way that I think the SEC would actually do this moving forward is if all of a sudden these group of 5 teams, if they were just gutted by this pandemic and there were just so few to choose from, and the Power 5 commissioners agreed, you know, we've got to be able to pivot. Maybe we need to come up with a system where it's a 10-game conference schedule and we have one group of 5 slash FCS matchup and then one Power 5 non-conference matchup. And it would take all the Power 5 commissioners getting on the same page. And as we've seen throughout this pandemic, that is not an easy thing to do. And I think that Greg Sankey would basically have to have his hand forced, or as a result, you would have to have a TV package so lucrative with these added games against SEC teams that even with, you know, potentially losing a home game, which that's another thing that you got to keep in mind if you were to go to a 10-game conference schedule, is that you'd be taking away at least one home game per SEC team. If that money were to outweigh that loss in home attendance or all those different things, and if everybody was on the same page. But again, it would take that exact thing in order for this to happen. It's not going to be as simple as the SEC saw that a lot of fans were really interested in the 10-game conference schedule, and therefore this is automatically going to happen. If it were that easy, they would have done it years ago.
Let's end on a thought on college basketball here, because there's much more national leadership from the NCAA in basketball than there is in football, in which there was none. And it's Dan Gavitt, the guy who's the VP of the basketball tournament for the NCAA, and we know that makes 90% of their money, so they're going to focus pretty heavily on that. The NCAA might not survive without a basketball tournament. So Gavitt, I think it was last week, said by the middle of September there will be guidance to when the basketball season can start. You know, and there just seems to be so much more trust in the leadership nationally for college basketball than anything of what we saw from college football. Now, I'm not asking you about should college football have a commissioner, but it's just so interesting to see how completely diffused the power structure is for college football. But for basketball, there is a central power, and it is Dan Gavitt, and he has just about everybody's respect.
Well, let's think about it. What motivation does college football have to really unite? I mean, they're not dependent on the NCAA for their postseason tournament. It's the college football playoff who controls that, and ESPN really with the TV deal as well that has such a big say over all this, whereas the NCAA controls its postseason tournament, and therefore you do have more of a unified leadership group that says, hey, we need to get on the same page because, yeah, going 2 seasons without an NCAA tournament would be devastating. And any reason that they have to figure this thing out now, having already seen the byproduct of having their postseason just completely gutted, I think that they are more motivated than ever. And if that means getting us to a place where we have bubbles for, you know, conference tournaments and the NCAA tournament, I'm here for all of that. And I think that's a really good thing. I just think it's different, and it speaks more to the national nature of college basketball as opposed to college football, which has never been more regional than it is right now. And I think that's the problem that is going to continue to stand in the way of college football, and why, in my opinion, even if they were to get a commissioner, which I don't think is going to happen in college football because it involves, you know, the Power 5 commissioners handing over power, I do think that, yeah, the NCAA with their involvement in college basketball is always going to make more sense, and they're always going to be more on the same page than college football.
Okay. Well, today's National Waffle Day, so let's get one last thought. Waffles, pancakes, or crepes? Which one would you go with?
Ooh, well, that's a good question.
That's interesting. Give me waffles all day,
my man.
day. And I had pancakes over the weekend. We've got the griddle. We've got the waffle maker as well. That was one of our favorite wedding presents. God bless the person who got us that. My goodness, we make good use out of that thing. The waffle maker, once you have it in your home, the possibilities are endless, and that's the thing that I can't do without. Waffles are they're never gonna let you down. You can have bad pancakes. It's very easy to mess with a pancake. Waffles, I don't know. That to me, just in terms of elite breakfast food, that's up there with the best of them.
Okay. You always come with a good opinion about food and football, Connor. Good that these things go together. Thanks for your time, man. I know we don't have you next week, so have a good trip. And a couple weeks away, we'll be talking football.
Sounds good. Appreciate it, guys.
Thanks, Connor.
Absolutely. You know the thing about waffles that no other food has is they've got a little reservoir for your butter and your syrup.
Yes.
I mean, it holds it perfectly, absolutely perfectly. A little dollop of butter, just enough syrup, and there's no taste just like that. Of course, whatever it is you want to put in those little reservoirs of flavor, it's up to you. Ty Richardson would probably put ketchup in them.
Probably.
877-377-6963 to get with us. And we are taking your nominations on waffles and pancakes. And that is this guy's right. Got a text from the 479. We've totally ignored French toast, which takes a little more effort, but it's usually worth the effort. All right, we'll discuss and much more next.
Tommy Kraft for the Fence Man. If you've always wanted powered automatic gates at your home or business, but you didn't know who to call, let me tell you about the Fence Man. 479-782-3936. The Fence Man does it all. Custom wrought iron installations, automatic gates, even controlled access systems, and lots more. Ask about 18-month, same as cash financing with approved credit. For your custom fence and gate needs, call the Fence Man. 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Full-time farmers, hobby farmers, and landowners, your time is important. Make the most out of that time with a brand new Branson tractor from Bush Machine & Tractor in Fort Smith. With tractors from 19 to 105 horsepower, we have a tractor that will fit your needs. Ask Bush Machine & Tractor about their special financing options and free loader rebates. Bush Machine & Tractor in Fort Smith is Arkansas's #1 Branson dealer. Check their inventory at bushtractor.com.
River City Bistro is Fort Smith's favorite place for lunch and dinner. Open 7 days a week, both on the open-air patio and air-conditioned dining room for your safety and comfort. River City Bistro is locally owned and open weekdays 11 to 8, Saturdays 10 to 8, and Sundays 10 till 3. Want River City Bistro curbside to go? Just search on Facebook or Instagram for River City Bistro or go to rcbistro.com. River City Bistro, 7320 Rogers Avenue in the Stonewood Village Shopping Center.
Is your Arkansas home at least 10 years old and served by OG&E? OG&E is offering Arkansas customers a free weatherization program to increase your comfort and lower your bills. A trained crew will perform an energy audit at no cost to you, and if your home qualifies, their crews will install measures that can include attic insulation, LED light bulbs, weather stripping, advanced power strips, smoke alarms, carbon monoxide detectors, and much more. The services provided through this program are at no charge to you for qualifying homes. If you or someone you know could benefit from free home weatherization improvements, call OG&E today at 800-272-9741. That's 800-272-9741.
Now is the perfect time to invest in your own backyard oasis. Hi, Tommy Kraft here for my good friends at Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith. Hey, there's no better time to get a semi-in-ground pool from Doughboy Pools than right now. Prices are low at only $99.97, and Burton's is going a step further with a free upgrade to a robotic cleaner. This is a $600 cleaner, though included at no extra charge when you buy your Doughboy semi-in-ground pool right now. Get all the details at Burton Pools and Spas. And while you're at Burton's, check out the showroom floor full of hot spring spas. There's no better way to relax after a workout or a hard day at work. Hey, it's all at Burton Pools and Spas. They're in Springdale and in Fort Smith and always online at burtonpools.com. Burton Pools and Spas. They are your source for backyard fun.
When the temperature starts heating up outside, it means summer is on its way. Let Pinnacle Telecom ease the heat with a brand new Name Your Speed promotion. That's right, switch your business to Pinnacle's fast fiber internet and name your internet speed. Any speed, and pay just $50 per month for internet the first 3 months. If you're under contract with the other guys, no problem. Pinnacle will honor this promotion when your term is up. Check us out at pinnacletelecom.com. Offer ends soon, some restrictions apply.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time, every time.
This is ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
Can we turn our beds into bunk beds?
Why are you guys so sweaty?
All right, we've already figured out how to do this. The beds match up perfectly.
And here's the thing, it'll give us so much extra space in our room to do activities.
Please say yes.
You don't need permission from us to build bunk beds. You're adults. You can do what you want. So...
Yeah? No?
Yes.
Sweet.
I knew it.
Okay, you guys are not going to regret this. We're going to get so much more activities done.
This is the funnest night ever.
Back on halftime. 877-377-6963. I feel shame now. I feel utter shame because I left out truly my favorite breakfast bread, which is French toast.
French toast is fantastic.
It takes a little more effort, but it's the best as long as it's made properly. Crispy on the outside, soft and gooey on the inside. And you got to have a breakfast meat with it. But, yes, it takes a little bit more effort, but it is better.
But it is worth the effort.
You got to make sure you scramble the egg first. If you just put a raw egg right on there, the yolk, needs to be broken up.
Look, I'll say this. That's one of the things that if you ordered French toast at Waffle House, they're going to give you a cross-eyed look. There is no such thing as French toast at Waffle House.
They call it freedom toast there.
No, they don't know how to make it. They don't do it. They will not put bread inside egg batter and grill it for you at Waffle House. So good luck. Anywhere else, they'll do it for you. I'll do it for you at my place.
I haven't had French toast in a while.
I think in my adult life have I even had it.
You never had French toast?
I mean, in my adult
life.
Oh,
in your adult? Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if I've gone to a restaurant and ordered French toast. I've had my grandma make it when I was a kid.
Look who's the big grown-up on this show now.
I mean, I do go to IHOP with Jenkins, and we eat pancakes with cereal on them.
Cereal pancakes with
icing.
Yeah. So did you see that there is a new record holder for the most expensive baseball card ever printed?
Interesting.
How about that? For all this time,
It used to be that one. Didn't Wayne Gretzky had one?
Well, that's a hockey card.
Oh.
I'm talking baseball.
No,
I don't really know what. I don't know about the.
Oh,
Gretzky.
yeah, he owned the card. That's right. Yeah.
Well, I don't. Was it Gretzky that owned it, or was it the guy that he played for?
'Cause
Bruce
I just
McNall,
remember
the former Kings owner.
There was
and then
David,
Charlie Sheen owned it.
David Copperfield bit where he tore it in half, wrote
Yes.
his name on and tore it in half.
Well, this card that you're referring to, and there's two cards that are really famous for their values. One of them is the Mickey Mantle rookie card. I believe that's a Topps card. And then there's the
Honus Wagner?
The Honus Wagner card, known as the T206 from 1909, sold in tobacco instead of bubble gum. Things were a little bit different then, right? So the Wagner card, which has exchanged owners, throughout this last century or so, last sold 4 years ago for a little over $3 million. You know who my favorite player is in baseball. It's Mike Trout, center fielder for the Angels. And Trout, I mean, he's been in the majors since 2011. He was drafted 2009. So the way that you actually get more value is to buy the draft card. It's different than the rookie card from when he first came up into the bigs. Now you've gotten, for a while, you've had prospects that have their own trading cards. And so there's this card from the 2009 Bowman Chrome Draft Prospects Superfractor set.
Wait, hang on. Say that over again.
You've got 5 different descriptions on this one set of baseball cards. Actually 6. The year, 2009. The company, Bowman. The color on the outside, chrome. Where these players came from, the draft, what they are, prospects, and super refractor, which is just fun to say. $3.936 million over the weekend to an unknown buyer. The dude who bought this card and then sold it for all this profit, he is making over $3.5 million on an initial investment of $400,000. That's smart. This guy, and really, I could have told you when he bought this thing 2 years ago that Mike Trout is going to be in the Hall of Fame, that Mike Trout will be regarded as one of the 3 to 5 greatest players in Major League history when it's all said and done. But I couldn't have expected that his first ever printed and signed baseball card would have increased in value by over $3.5 million in
That's
2
insane.
years. That's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Just can't imagine spending $3.5 million on a trading card.
Well, I mean,
even how rare
I can't
it is.
imagine having
$3.5 million.
million.
That too. Oh, that too.
Well, I mean, it becomes an investment, I guess. Like, you know, that's what the last owner looked at it as, and then he ends up making $3.5 million on it.
And so you
now
get
I
it
feel like an
insured,
idiot. I think you better, yeah. You better not even let anybody look at that thing cross-eyed. But I feel stupid because Trout was on my Arkansas Travelers team in 2011. He spent 92 games. He was with us almost the whole season. And I didn't get anything autographed by him. It's because I don't ask for autographs. It's like it's more of something that I'm programmed with. I just don't ask for autographs. And if I do, I'm usually doing somebody else a huge favor and remind them that I'm going against my normal attitude. But I even knew in 2011 that Trout was going to be a special player. I didn't realize he would be the next coming of Ted Williams. But, man, I should have had one thing signed by the guy, just one. I mean, he sat in my car 2 or 3 times. We had plenty of conversations together. I've got personal recollections of one-on-one interactions with Mike Trout for a 5-month period. But none of that has any intrinsical monetary value, unfortunately. I can't sell these stories. I should have had one thing signed. You know what I should have done? I should have gotten a tattoo of his autograph on my hand created by him.
Ooh.
Then my left hand would be worth $10 million.
See, I wonder what would a Mike Trout signed baseball go for? I wonder. Like if he just simple.
It's all a matter of what, how many are out there. Like there are only 5 of these cards that sold last weekend that are out there, even signed by him. So there's just there's probably a lot of Mike Trout baseballs signed, but not many 2009 Bowman Chrome Draft Prospect Superfractor cards.
Superfractor.
That's right, the Superfractor. So it's just one more investment that went by the wayside for yours truly. 877-377-6963. Come back, second hour. No guests, just you and us on halftime.
Hi, folks. John Collins with Randall Ford of Fort Smith. If you're in the market for a pre-owned vehicle, you need to come see me today. We have access to hundreds of pre-owned cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs. All makes and models available. If we don't have it, we'll find it for you. We have special financing and warranties available on all vehicles, plus up to 90 days deferred payments on select models. All vehicles are cleaned and UV sanitized to protect our customers. Before you pay too much for your next vehicle, come see me personally and let me save you money.
906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge, now open Tuesday through Saturday. Still serving all the 906 specialty items, with new menu items including fish and chips, classic club sandwiches, Caesar and Cobb salads, dine in or carry out, wines, top shelf spirits, and handcrafted cocktails and cigars, all in an atmosphere that feels more like a destination. Following all of the state guidelines in a state-of-the-art air filtration system for your safety. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge, defining nightlife in downtown Fort Smith. Doors open Tuesday through Saturday at 4 p.m.
Introducing Budweiser Zero. 0% alcohol, 0 grams of sugar. Full Budweiser flavor. For all the moments you want a beer and need to stay on your game. Budweiser Zero. 0 alcohol, 0 compromise.
Wave Rural Connect is bringing state-of-the-art fiber, internet, TV, and phone services right into your home. Get amazing fast fiber internet, 100 megabits for only $49.95 per month, or 1 gigabit for only $79.95 per month. TV packages from the basics to our amazing altered TV, starting at $32.95. Fiber phone services start at $29.95. Go to waveruralconnect.com to find out if we are installing in your area, or call 1-833-4-WAVE-RC. Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Football fans, the 2020 season is on. Get ready with Hooten's Arkansas football. 416 pages. Hooten's wrote the book on football. The Razorbacks, Red Wolves, all the state colleges, and an in-depth preview on every high school team. Read about them all in Hooten's Arkansas football. Your school, your state, your source. Hooten's Arkansas football. Look for new Razorback coach Sam Pittman on the cover on newsstands now. Hooten's Arkansas football.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Our weather overnight looks clear with our low in the mid to upper 60s. Tomorrow we're expecting our high around 90 and mostly sunny. We'll get clear skies on Monday night with our low in the upper 60s and then a few showers and thunderstorms on Tuesday near 90. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Shop local, eat local, be local.
Proceed.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is halftime, coming at you from the Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3.
It's what I always listen to.
You guys are awesome, baby. You have these guys, ESPN in Arkansas. They do a good job.
Live from the Bushlight Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas? Dixon Street. It'll get you.
Streaming live from
Hit that line.
.com.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Jones for the win. He got it. He got it. He got it. Mason Jones banks in a three with 0.1 seconds to play.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
All right, at the second hour beginning on this Monday, 877-377-6963. Happy first day of school to everybody out there, to the parents that have their kids attending in-person classes. This is probably a level of freedom that you have not enjoyed for a while. It's been like, 6 months? 6 months since kids were or is it 6 or 5 months? I'm forgetting, I don't know what day day today is anyway. I don't know what.
I'm sure the parents would take the over and just take the 6 months.
Sure. I'm sure it felt like 6 years.
But
to those of you who've decided to keep your kids at home, I don't think that there's a matter of a right or wrong decision here. It's a matter of what you're comfortable with, what the kids are comfortable with, and thinking about all the teachers and administrators out there who are working in these conditions for the first time ever. I think it's going to be tough for the kids going into a classroom situation that they've never experienced before, but it's the teachers that are setting it all up. So, I'm with all of you mentally as best as I can, because I got to be honest. I would last like 5 minutes as a teacher for anybody who is younger than, say, Ty Richardson. That's about it.
Oh, you wouldn't have made it 3 years at the at BB High School. No, love the kids, but no, Mama. I don't know if I've mentioned this on there. My mom's a principal at the kindergarten, first grade building down in BB, so she's getting ready for that today. But some of my closest friends in this world are teachers. I don't envy the position that they're put in, but they're some of the strongest people I know that they can power through this. And I had one of my kiddos from last year. She's a senior this year and sent me a text and said, Matt, this is the craziest first day of school I've ever seen. From everybody being social distance and masked up and assigned seating in the cafeteria and different things like that. It's ridiculous. And it's all warranted. I don't mean to say ridiculous like it's not warranted, but no, it's crazy. But certainly, yeah, if you're a teacher out there.
Would you say it's unprecedented?
It is unprecedented. Every bit of what's happening is. I mean, none of these principals, administrators, superintendents, teachers, coaches, none of them would have ever imagined what they're going through right now. And especially because athletic director from BB, and I follow him on Twitter, players have to buy up to and no more 3 tickets for their parents to attend road games for volleyball, for example. Before that, that was never even a thought.
Wait, you can't be on the team unless your parents buy 3 tickets?
No, the players can only have 3 tickets per game.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, they're limiting.
Well, it's interesting to see how crowds will be limited at a lot of these sporting events. And I saw, a lot of NFL teams are working in the idea of pods, a pod system where groups of people that live together or know each other well enough to know their situation with the virus sit around each other while they are socially distanced from the other pods inside stadiums. And I would assume that as far as the outdoor seating goes at Razorback Stadium, Arkansas will have to do the same thing. And you see a lot of people in education that are doing this, like my sister, who is a teacher by profession, not taught for the last couple of years living in Oregon, but now she is having 5 or 6 of her friends' kids at the house to have an educational pod with her kids.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're doing it outside of school. They're learning online, but they're having a pod inside the house. So, I mean, that seems to be one of the ways moving forward as we're trying to figure out how do you play football and have people inside the stadium during a pandemic, and how do you teach? How do you educate during a pandemic? And, of course, Friday afternoon, the word comes out from the university that pay cuts have been instituted across the Arkansas athletic department. And that only comes just a handful of days or so after they announced how many tickets they expect to be sold per game. I mean, these things work in tandem, hand in hand. That's how you're able to project the budget as to how many, what's the per cap on the 17,000 or so that pay to get into the stadium, and what do you make, per game off of that? That's why these pay cuts have now been instituted a week or so after the attendance plan was released by Arkansas. So, everybody else across the SEC, I would assume there will have to be some pay cuts at the same time, because if you're making, let's just take Arkansas as an example, if you're making over half of your revenue for the entire athletic department coming from football, and now how many people will be in your stadium for each football game, how many games you will play at home, and you still have an idea of what the television money situation looks like. Now or have at least some way to predict what the budget looks like for this next year. So that's where the budget reductions come from. And we got into this last week's SmackDown. I mean, you start with making cuts through every program in the department, travel, certain amenities, stuff like that, and that goes to a certain level. Then you got to start cutting salaries. And if that doesn't get you to a number that you got to meet, then you start cutting sports. I don't think you're going to get to that point at Arkansas. So these pay cuts, which are pretty heavy, you're talking 15% cut for Hunter Yurachek, 10% salary reduction for anybody making $100,000 or more, 7.5% reduction for anyone making $50,000 up to close to $100,000, then 5% reduction, 2.5% reduction on a steep basis for not just the remainder of this year, but for the remainder of the fiscal year, which carries you through June 2021. So, I mean, this is pretty massive. This is pretty massive.
They submitted in here when you read this via Whole Hog Sports, and a great job by our pal Tom Murphy putting this together for us. But the athletic department submitted a budget of $124 million for the fiscal year for this 2020-21 school year. And these savings, according to Whole Hog Sports, will result in about $3 million of that.
Well, and we've got a question here from the 479 asking about, the attendance has lacked the last few years anyway. That's people in the seats. And it was still at least, 30,000, 35,000? You still had 55,000, 60,000 tickets sold. So that was still money going to the athletic department. This is where people weren't showing up at the games. And to be honest, could you blame them? Now, the ticket sales, I mean, fans have the option of taking the money that they spent on 2020 season tickets and moving that money to 2021. So in that case, this is also a massive reduction in ticket revenue, not just the per capita, but you're not getting the whatever the season ticket mark was. You're getting half. You're only going to be making 17,000 or so paying customers on tickets per game, not the 35,000 or 60,000 that you were be getting. So that's a major amount of money that they've had to cut from the budget. And so Chad in Paris asked another question that's legit here. If you end up moving forward with no fans in the stadium, Do you have to cut more budgets? Is that more money you've got to cut from the athletic budget for the rest of the year? And my answer here would be, I think so. I would think these things have to go together now. So, I mean, this is the first instance of any sort of public announcement of reductions in the budget. I think that many of the sports, if not all programs within the athletic department, have already had to make some cuts in their operating budget, the way that they, travel and spend money. And sure, they are saving millions of dollars by not paying for non-conference games, but they're also losing the profit that they would be making from those non-conference games. Like you're paying ULM $7,500,000 so that you can make $4 million on that. I mean, that's why you're paying them to come in to begin with. So you're not spending the money, but you're not making the money either. And it is a lot of money. That's what you're dealing with when you have an industry that is so reliant on one of 17 sports that you've got on campus to be able to pay for everybody else.
Can you imagine if they had to pay the players?
Oh my God, it'd be even worse.
You just have to get rid of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Well, and look, that's also another crisis in college football that is on the way. I believe that that's on the way. It's just being a little bit underreported right now because everything's focused on the pandemic. Hey, if you own a business that needs more security or if you need more curb appeal for that business, get a hold of the Fence Man at 479-782-3936. The Fence Man has a fence that does both for you, curb appeal and security. You can trust them. They've been doing it for over 40 years. Nobody knows better about custom installations than the Fence Man. Gates, controlled access card readers. It's 479-782-3936. The Fence Man is a division of Quantum Property Services. And we're back for halftime after this. Stay tuned.
The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Crabb.
At some point, we got to quit always dragging in last year or the last 2 years into the reasoning of why this year can't have some independence of its own and some success on its own. Well, at some point, the last 2 years has to quit mattering, and you got to move forward. And I think that's exactly what we're talking about here this morning.
Don't miss The Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3.
Your locally owned TGI Fridays in Fort Smith is now open for dine-in, curbside to go, and delivery for both lunch and dinner, 7 days a week. TGI Fridays is taking your safety seriously, following every guideline. Enjoy Fridays favorites like appetizers, burgers, sandwiches, salads, all the great Fridays, signature entrees, kids meals, and great desserts. TGI Fridays, now open for dine-in, curbside to go, and delivery. Call 479-484-0906. That's 484-0906. Or order online at Fridays.com. Your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 in Rogers and Fort Smith.
0% financing for 72 months on 2020 Ford EcoSports and Ford Fusions at Harry Robinson's Sallisaw Ford. The Ford EcoSport is the perfect compact SUV. Get 0% financing for 72 months or $5,000 in factory rebates. And the 2020 Ford Fusion. Get $4,000 off or 0% financing and $1,000 in cash rebates. Harry Robinson's Sallisaw Ford. 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Sallisaw.
Robinson, Sallisaw Ford.
You have work to do. You need a tractor that helps get it done. TYM has the full range of tractors designed to meet the task. With the TYM easy-to-use controls and features, switching from one job to another is easy. And with the full range of models from 19 horsepower to 105 horsepower turbo, there's a TYM tractor that's right for the job and for you. But you can't buy a TYM tractor just anywhere. It's only sold at authorized TYM dealers like Bush Tractor, 7301 South Zero, Fort Smith.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
Attention Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative members. Do you need a better internet provider? One who treats you like a member and not a number? Then check out our new fiber internet services from Wave Rural Connect. We are bringing state-of-the-art, high-speed fiber, internet, TV, and phone services right into your home. If you are an Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative member, go to waveruralconnect.com to sign up. That's waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-4WAVE-RC. Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Your voice lets him know he's safe. Shelter Insurance does the same for you. Roadside assistance is now included with your auto policy. So if your car leaves you stranded, just call and we'll take care of you while you take care of what's most important. Find an agent at shelterinsurance.com. We're your shield, we're your shelter. Some restrictions apply.
Ask shelter agents Brandon Zimmerman or Chris Dooley about a free insurance review.
We're now living in uncharted waters with the spread of COVID-19. With the partial closing of a lot of businesses, sadly, some will soon try and turn your possessions into their possessions. Guardtronic has been providing security for homes and businesses for over 60 years. Whether you need a camera system to keep an eye on things or a complete home security system, call Guardtronic 479-785-2323 or go online to guardtronic.com. We have so many worries these days, safety should not be one of them. License E50.
This is ESPN 95.3. Find us on 99.5 and 1290 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith in the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs in Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com.
I listen to public radio.
Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and SmackDown.
1:15 on a Monday. I don't give the time enough on this show. Do you think I should give the time a little bit more often? Do people actually listen to the radio to
People don't have
know what
time
it is anymore?
No, they don't care about the time. All they want to hear is
the traffic, right? Yeah,
Yes.
Can you give them traffic reports?
Just want traffic, and they just want to hear the score more.
Yeah.
That's what I always hear. You don't give the score enough.
I'm Phil Elson here with your traffic update for Fort Smith, Arkansas.
So SmackDown, I almost got you ready to play our Dumbass of the Week thing, but I don't know if this qualifies yet because he didn't do the thing that would have been dumbass. This is great, and it's got most of this has got to be related to like coronavirus these days. Our first Dumbass of the Week got fired from the Seahawks, which is called being released, for bringing a booty call into the team hotel and dressing her up like a player. Remember that one?
Yes.
So this one is Isaiah Wilson, who was the Tennessee Titans' first round pick this past year, former Georgia Bulldog lineman. He was at a Tennessee State off-campus party. This is according to a police incident report obtained by a Titans beat writer named Paul Kuharski. So the police show up to this party because now college students are not allowed to have parties anywhere, right? So at Tennessee State University, which is that in Nashville? I think it is. I think it is in Nashville. Wilson was so nervous that he would be reported to his team that he attempted to jump from a second-floor balcony in order to evade detection. No. Yes. He didn't jump because he realized at 6'6", 351 pounds, that would have quite a bit of an impact once he landed on the ground and probably wouldn't have worked out very well for him.
Wow.
So he did get cited for being at the party. Mike Vrabel is aware of it. No visitors policy at Tennessee State University in Nashville, but Wilson could not stay away. I don't know if I would ever be jumping out of a party window.
I can see if you were too, you got drunk enough that you start to lose reason like that.
Yeah.
What was it a year or so ago? Like some girl jumped out of the stands, or it was like they were like in a beer garden or something. Like I forget what it was, but yeah, you have a few drinks, and then you forget. Oh, maybe I'm not Superman.
And you just want to give it a try and jump into the swimming pool.
Yeah, but every once in a while, there's like a great moment. I don't remember the guy's name, or if you guys remember this moment. It was a Monday night football game in Chicago, and the Bears are lining up to kick a field goal, and this Bears fan leaps out of the stands and catches the ball as it goes through the uprights. He was like on that.
What?
And it was right. He jumped into the tunnel. I mean, he was right there at the edge of the section, and he jumped. I guess it was about a story high, if not a little more. He leaps in the air into the tunnel and catches the field goal as it goes through the uprights. I don't think I've seen like anything like this before. And this guy, became a national star, and I think he was on the Monday Night Football broadcast because of it. Anyway, I saw this was interesting because we are looking for a weekly dumbass, and this one was close.
Okay.
This was an Auburn fan gets swallowed by hedge while trying to rush the field.
I remember that now.
That's the one, yes. I saw our video, yeah.
Wasn't that when they beat Georgia, I think? Or
Alabama.
It was at Georgia, yeah. That's right. She jumped into the hedges and got stuck there.
And couldn't get, that's right.
She was wearing a dress, too. Oh, my gosh. I couldn't imagine
another
how
waist
painful
deep
that
in
was.
the bush there.
In the hedge.
Yeah, that's a rough place. That's a rough place to spend some time, all sliced up and nicked and cut in the hedges with tens of thousands of rabid Georgia fans trampling you on their way in between the hedges.
Evan in Fayetteville texted in. He says, "You remember when Baker Mayfield thought he could outrun a cop on Dixon and then got body slammed?" I remember.
Well,
Dixon will get you every time.
Like running away from
Exactly.
the cops on the ground is one thing. Leaping out of a second-story window is another thing. I mean, maybe Baker would have tried to do that same thing because he does believe himself to be Superman. So it's just all right. So the NCAA has granted this year of eligibility to all fall sports athletes. That's whether their season is completed or not, whether they have opted out of the season or not. So it's really interesting over this now. So you have all spring athletes from 2020, all fall athletes from 2020 getting an extra year of eligibility. And the only athletes that don't, at least as of right now, are the winter sports athletes, basketball and the like. So, I mean, the roster situation for baseball is just crazy. You have more players on the team than ever before. You've got guys that should have been drafted that couldn't go in the weird 5-round draft, Casey Opitz. And this is something that every coach across the SEC and big-time college baseball is dealing with, a glut of talent that they probably have never dealt with before. Now football teams may end up in the same situation, after this year. The seniors won't count against the 85 scholarship limit, so they're making the proper sort of contingencies for any of the seniors that want to use up that extra year of eligibility. But, man, I mean, baseball practice should be starting soon. I know the team is around here, so once they do start practicing, if they do scrimmage, those are going to be some great game-like scrimmages. Real SEC-caliber baseball on Octobers in the weekend. Even better than some of the regular season games will be against, teams like Missouri. But next year, football, position battles, nuts. Absolutely nuts. Like, you wouldn't expect Rakeem Boyd to be coming back. You wouldn't expect Felipe Franks to come back. But, I mean, there's some spots on this team that you could imagine there will be some sixth-year seniors.
You're right. I think there's the chances of like a Rakeem Boyd and Felipe Franks returning are slim to none. But if this year goes well, just say for kicks and giggles, say this team accidentally goes 4-6, 3-7, or so, like you're really starting to trend upward late or whatever it may be. If you're Felipe Franks and Rakeem Boyd, what if you did? And then you really start to turn this thing around and change the trajectory of Razorback football for years to come. But the chances of that happening, I mean, Rakeem Boyd easily could have hit the NFL draft this year, probably been a 3rd, 4th, 5th round pick or whatever. If he has a good year this year, I think he's a solid 2nd or 3rd round pick. That, and having that in the back of his mind, you probably don't come back, and that may be the smartest decision. Felipe Franks, on the other hand, I think it may make sense for him to come back for another year. But there again, if he does come back, then you more than likely are going to lose KJ Jefferson or Malik Hornsby. More probably KJ Jefferson more than Malik Hornsby.
That's part of this, too. I mean,
that's another. You're
going to have a lot of incoming freshmen and freshmen that are expecting to get some playing time the following year that are in different positions than they thought they would be. So where in baseball, and part of the difference between these two sports is that Major League Baseball only did 5 rounds. The NFL, you wouldn't imagine they're going to change their draft at all. I mean, they don't want to change that thing one bit. So you're still going to have the same amount of players drafted into the NFL, but there will be still more options for players to stick around in college. So, if you're a senior and you don't have a future in the NFL, if you want to play another year of football, why not? Go for it if you love it. Now, schools don't have to keep your scholarship. If they want to pay that scholarship, they can, and it won't cost against the 85 scholarship limit, but they don't have to do it. So I think it's going to be interesting to see at certain schools, who's allowed to stay on, who's said you can be a walk-on. I don't know if this affects a school like Alabama or Clemson or Georgia very much. I think it could affect Arkansas. And I think that another effect here is you'll end up with maybe a glut of talent in junior college football. You can end up with a glut of talent in group of five, some kids that see the ability to play right away where at a tougher place where there's more competition from more experienced players, maybe it's a little more difficult to get on the field.
I believe it was Tommy that brought this up on the Russia, and they spoke about this a little bit too. Another aspect of it that you have to look at is how many of these kids are actually going to take advantage of this, because if you're a fifth-year senior, and by that point, theoretically, you already have your bachelor's degree, you might even have your master's degree by that point, do you really want to sit through 6 or 9 hours of classes again? And that's another little side of the token, because most of these guys that come to Arkansas, while yes, their dream is to go to the NFL, 6, 7 of them eventually make that dream out of 80, we'll just say 80 guys on the football team.
Or they still might like the college life.
Exactly.
Whatever the college life is going to be like.
Or 75 of them may be ready to start their life and move on from football. There's a lot of moving parts with this, but at least they got the option.
That's right. That's what it's about. It's the option. Just like all the spring athletes got too. It's good to have options, when quite often there haven't been options for these sort of athletes. 877-377-6963. Hey, we are at the halfway point of the irregular Major League Baseball season here on August the 24th. So we'll see what the standings look like, remind you what the playoff format is like, and some big things happening over the weekend in baseball. So stay tuned.
Build your business with 100% fiber, internet, voice, and cloud services from Ritter Communications. Whether you're a one-man woodworking shop who needs fast, reliable internet complete with TV service, or you're a construction enterprise needing managed voice and networking to connect your multiple sites, our helpful, Arkansas-based team will create a custom solution for you. Visit RitterBusiness.com or give them a call at 888-336-4249 to learn more.
Wheels RV.
Pro Furniture August Back to School Sale. We are giving away this USA-made custom leather sectional on August 31st at 4:30 p.m. Must come in to register. In August, discounts on all furniture and mattresses to our finance and cash customers.
You can't discount and give away furniture.
I'll do what I want to do.
I still run this show. I just let her think she does. It was my idea in the first place.
What'd you say?
Nothing, honey. Frank Bro Furniture. Best seats in the house.
When you're looking for outdoor power equipment, head to R-Track, where we've got the area's best selection of tractors and mowers. Check out our side-by-side UTVs, Argo Amphibious XTVs, and Hammerhead go-karts. We rent professional quality equipment and service everything we sell. Stop by today. Get the R-Track advantage.
Off I-40 at exit 58 at 219 East Taylor Road in Clarksville. You can check out their inventory online at rtrack.com.
Stay saucy and give your draft party what they really want. Wings! Fantasy football bundles are awaiting your arrival. Dine-in or take-out available prices vary. Did we forget to mention basketball? Bubble bundles starting at only $29.99. Hey, get to Buffalo Wild Wings, cure your cravings, and watch the magic happen on our wall-to-wall TVs. Don't wait up. They know where to find you. Buffalo Wild Wings. Roar!
Some buffalo wings.
Sell it at participating locations: Fort Smith, Little Rock, Conway, Jonesboro, and Sherwood.
Elite Roofing is a locally owned roofing contractor. If you're building a new home or maybe need a new roof on your existing home, Elite Roofing can take care of you. Elite Roofing is known for their dependability and reliability. Just ask any of their satisfied customers. They are licensed and insured, and references are available upon request. If you need a roof, call your local roofing contractors. Elite Roofing, 478-8668. That's 478-8668. Elite Roofing, 478-8668.
Right now, we are all being put to the test by COVID-19, but there are things we can do to stop the spread. Wash your hands often and throughout the day. When you go out, wear a face covering and keep at least 6 feet between yourself and others. Take care of those more at risk. If you have symptoms or have been exposed to someone with COVID-19, get tested. Save lives. Stop the spread. Learn more at healthy.arkansas.gov. This message brought to you by the Arkansas Department of Health.
Football fans, the 2020 season is on. Get ready with Hooten's Arkansas Football. 416 pages. Hooten's wrote the book on football. The Razorbacks, Red Wolves, all the state colleges, and an in-depth preview on every high school team. Read about them all in Hooten's Arkansas Football. Your school, your state, your source. Hooten's Arkansas Football. Look for new Razorback coach Sam Pittman on the cover on newsstands now. Hooten's Arkansas Football.
When your carpets, upholstery, and floors look dirty and stained, call your local Service Master Clean at 646-4087. Service Master Clean is an industry leader and can remove the toughest stains from your home or office. And they back their work with a satisfaction guarantee. Eliminate dirt and grime from your carpet, hardwood, tile, and laminate floors. Call your local Service Master Clean, 479-646-4087. That's 646-4087 or online at servicemasterpc.com.
This is ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Smackdown Jenkins.
Hi, huddle up over here.
Wait for me. Oh, cool. This is my first huddle. Okay. So, what do you guys really think of Chandler? Phoebe, you know what you're doing, right? Yeah. Okay. All right, Joey's gonna catch it, and you and I are gonna block. What's block? Phoebe, I thought you said you know what you were doing. I thought you meant in life. Break.
Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Smackdown.
All right, let's get into some baseball stuff here because it is the halfway point of the irregular season. We've had some teams, not all, play 30 of their 60. Of course, the Cardinals, the Mets, the Marlins, the Pirates, the Reds. Am I missing somebody else that hasn't been able to play all of them? So thought it would help to take a quick look at the standings and see what the playoff picture would look like. And right now, there would be 2 teams with losing records in the National League playoffs, which I hate it. I hate it. I understand why baseball has done this, why they're expanding the playoffs to gross levels for this weird season, because you don't have the full 162 games that you should have to determine who the playoff teams really should be. They need an extra level of playoffs in order to mitigate some of the financial losses. So I get it, but this hopefully is the only year that 8 teams per league get in. But as of right now, I mean, the Giants and the Mets are both under 500, and they would be playoff teams. So remember what the format is for determining the playoff participants. You get your 3 division winners, the second place team in each division, and then the 2 best records that remain. So you do have a couple of wild cards per league. So the division leaders in the American League, Oakland, Minnesota, and Tampa. Second place teams are Houston, Cleveland, New York Yankees, and then Baltimore is at 500. The White Sox would be the other playoff team. Think about that, Baltimore, team that has lost, like 220 games the last 2 years? As of right now, they're a playoff team. That's crazy. It is crazy. It is, because they don't really have any business being a playoff team, but there they are. It's the same with the Marlins. And right now, you're supposed to go by winning percentage. So the Marlins and the Cardinals haven't played anywhere near the amount of games that the rest of the National League teams have played, but eventually they're going to get close to it. I mean, the Cardinals are doubleheader daddies for the rest of the season. The Marlins are playing doubleheaders too, so eventually they'll get to that number of games they need to play. Dodgers, Cubs, and Braves, National League division leaders. Marlins, Cardinals, Padres are the second-place teams, and then the Mets and the Giants are the teams under 500 that would be playoff teams as of right now. So that's stupid. All right, hottest team in baseball is the Padres. 7 straight wins after sweeping Houston, and they outscored the Astros 22-8 over those 3 games. Longest winning streak for the Pods since 2013, and right now have maybe the best shortstop, third base combination in the game with Fernando Tatis Jr. and Manny Machado. Tatis, I feel like we get into something with him every day here, SmackDown. He made a catch yesterday on a soft liner into short left field that I don't know if I've ever seen a shortstop make before, unless he's already positioned way out into left field because of a defensive shift. But I mean, he was like 100 feet into left field, not on a pop-up either, on a soft liner, and made a ridiculous leaping catch. He is as exciting of a ball player as I've ever seen.
One of the favorite parts, too, talking about that Padres-Houston game, and I think I labeled it down here. Yeah, Zach Greinke, did you see him throw the pitch against the Padres?
Yes.
If you hadn't seen it, you can find this on USA Today. He threw a 54-mile-an-hour pitch and then followed it with like a 95-mile-an-hour heater.
Yeah.
Right.
And then also during the game, he asked for the grounds crew to come work on the mound. Something was up with the mound. And as they're working on it, he very calmly walks off the pitcher's mound and sits down on the field cross-legged. That's another thing I'd never seen.
I hadn't seen that part.
He sits down and just hangs out while they're fixing the mound for him. Yeah. Greinke is unique. One of a kind. There's nobody like him.
How do you pronounce that pitch? Eephus pitch? Is that right?
The Eephus.
Eephus, okay.
Right. So what I know that pitch he threw yesterday was described as an Eephus, but I think it's a little faster and not quite as loopy as the Eephus usually is. I think I've told you what the Eephus is. It was invented by Rip Sewell, who is a Pittsburgh Pirates pitcher in the 40s, who hurt himself in a hunting accident. He'd shot something off his toe, so he couldn't pitch the way he usually did. So he altered his delivery, and he came up with this, maybe the weirdest pitch in the history of the game, an Eephus, which is essentially like a rainbow that the pitcher throws to the catcher. And sometimes it's thrown at like 40 miles an hour. The one that Greinke threw yesterday was 54, but it was more of a curveball, I think. But really, I mean, it still had that loop on it. And to see anybody throw 54 miles an hour, like you and I can throw 54 miles an hour. That's a major league pitcher that did it. And he got a strike on it, too. Like, I mean, he completely
right in the middle of the plate, too.
Yeah, he completely fooled the San Diego hitter. So it was an interesting thing to see. Let's see. Best record in the game, Dodgers, 22-8. They hit 7 homers on Sunday, throttling Colorado 11-3. Mookie Betts became the first Dodger ever to hit 2 homers and steal 2 bases in the same game. So now in the course of a week, Betts has tied for the all-time record for 3 homer games and done something that no other Dodger has ever done. Dodgers have only been around for, 140 years? By the way, 11 wins in 12 games for the Dodgers after beating Colorado yesterday. The Cubs, and we do have to make sure we allow the Cubs fans to feel good. They are one of the hottest teams, maybe not the hottest team. Cubs beat the White Sox 2-1 yesterday. The White Sox had taken the first 2 of that series. You're going to watch out for the Cubs because of that starting pitching. Yu Darvish right now might be the best pitcher in the National League. 7 innings, 1 run, 10 strikeouts against a White Sox team that had hit 11 home runs in the previous 2 games. Now, Darvish did allow Jose Abreu's 4th consecutive home run. Now, he hit 3 home runs Saturday and then starts off Sunday with a homer. 4 straight. Abreu hit 6 in the 3-game series. So the Sox hit 12 homers in that series. Chicago has now hit 28 home runs in the last 63 innings. And I do think there's a decent chance for Chicago versus Chicago World Series. You got to worry about the Dodgers. You got to worry about the Twins, the Padres, I think. But the White Sox and Cubs definitely are contenders and a lot of fun to watch them. Got a call here from Jason in Frankfurt. And as I'm talking baseball, Jason, I'm assuming that's what you want to do too. What's up?
Yes, exactly. So who is, to you, Phil or SmackDown, who's the bigger surprise between the Padres and the Miami Marlins? I'm just looking at the numbers at the Padres. They're allowing a lot of runs. I think probably their pitching will probably cause them to fall out of the wild card. Marlins, they've been just surprisingly average and a surprisingly average NL East. So which of those two, in your opinion, is the biggest surprise?
You know, I think it's the Marlins.
Yeah.
I think that there's no doubt. I mean, the Padres have been a team that's been very frustrating for the last couple of years because A.J. Preller, their GM, built this great minor league system, made some splashy free agent signings, and nothing worked out for them the past couple of years. But I think they're starting to round into form, and getting a guy like Tatis, who they stole from the White Sox. Tatis is a generational style player, and add on a guy like Will Myers, a leader like Eric Hosmer. This is a team that is built for the long haul, I think. The problem for the Padres is they play in the same division as the Dodgers, who are as complete as any team in baseball. But the Marlins are a team that are going to fade, and they've already started to. The Padres are just getting incredibly hot. So, I'm really surprised about the Marlins, not as surprised about the Padres.
Yeah, that's a great take, and that's kind of where I stand. Like you said, we saw Machado coming. Tatis, I don't know, we thought he'd be good, but yeah, it's the Marlins have definitely been a surprise. Got to root for the Hogs, that are the Razorbacks that are playing on the Marlins team. So it's encouraging to see those guys like Anderson play. So yeah, take care, guys. I just was wanting to get your opinion on that, which was the bigger surprise in this Major League Baseball shortened season. So
that's a good call, Jason. Appreciate that. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, Padres have some interesting young pitchers too. Garrett Richards, who's been hurt the last couple of years, he's got a big arm. Zach Davies, Daniel Salamet. This is a team that's got a lot going for them. Padres are certainly a team to watch. White Sox too. I think that these are going to be two teams that are pretty tough. Hey, how about the St. Louis Cardinal pen? Held Cincinnati hitless for the last 4 1/3 innings yesterday, and finally Dylan Carlson hits that first Major League home run. Yadier Molina 4 hits. Cards took 3 of 4. Oh, don't forget, you can go to hitthatline.com, enter to win the Hardee's Lunch Bunch contest.
Yeah, the Hardee's in Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley are taking care of lunch for one lucky officer job site. And as Phil mentioned, you can go to hitthatline.com and register for the Hardee's Lunch Bunch. Just click on the Hardee's Lunch Bunch button on the top of the menu bar. Leave your info, and each Thursday we'll select one winner to receive Hardee's Lunch for you and your work friends. We selected one winner this past Thursday. We'll pick another one this Thursday. Head to hitthatline.com to register for the Hardee's Lunch Bunch from Northwest Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
3 up, 3 down plus. How bad are the Pirates? That'll come after the break. Stay tuned.
Kubota and Gray Brothers have teamed up to bring you special pricing on all Kubota cab tractors to help you keep cool during your hay baling and brush hogging activities. And if you're looking at cleanup from the recent storms, try Kubota's skid steers and excavators with special pricing and low-term financing. Now's the time for a new Kubota at Gray Brothers Equipment in Fort Smith and Poto, where if you pick orange, you'll never get a lemon.
River City Bistro is Fort Smith's favorite place for lunch and dinner. Open 7 days a week, both on the open-air patio and air-conditioned dining room for your safety and comfort. River City Bistro is locally owned and open weekdays 11 to 8, Saturdays 10 to 8, and Sundays 10 till 3. Want River City Bistro curbside to go? Just search on Facebook or Instagram for River City Bistro or go to rcbistro.com. River City Bistro, 7320 Rogers Avenue in the Stonewood Village Shopping Center.
Hello, sports fans. I know you are ready for sports to return. Hi, this is Sherry Traylor with Floyd Traylor Honda, and we have been proud to be your local hometown dealer for over 43 years. Come out and see us at 3200 South Zero Street and see all of our models we have in stock. Or give us a call at 479-434-5975. And you can check out our full inventory online at trailerhonda.net. And remember to please buy local.
Now is the perfect time to invest in your own backyard oasis. Hi, Tommy Kraft here for my good friends at Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith. Hey, there's no better time to get a semi-in-ground pool from Doughboy Pools than right now. Prices are low at only $99.97, and Burton's is going a step further with a free upgrade to a robotic cleaner. This is a $600 cleaner, though included at no extra charge when you buy your Doughboy semi-in-ground pool right now. Get all the details at Burton Pools and Spas. And while you're at Burton's, check out the showroom floor full of hot spring spas. There's no better way to relax after a workout or a hard day at work. Hey, it's all at Burton Pools and Spas. They're in Springdale and in Fort Smith and always online at burtonpools.com. Burton Pools and Spas. They are your source for backyard fun. Have you had someone...
Pro Furniture August Back to School Sale. We are giving away this USA-made custom leather sectional on August 31st at 4:30 p.m. Must come in to register. In August, discounts on all furniture and mattresses to our finance and cash customers.
You can't discount and give away furniture.
I'll do what I want to do.
I still run this show. I just let her think she does. It was my idea in the first place.
What'd you say?
Nothing, honey. Frank Roll Furniture. Best seats in the house.
When you're looking for outdoor power equipment, head to R-Track, where we've got the area's best selection of tractors and mowers. Check out our side-by-side UTVs, Argo Amphibious XTVs, and Hammerhead go-karts. We rent professional quality equipment and service everything we sell. Stop by today. Get the R-Track advantage.
Off I-40 at exit 58 at 219 East Taylor Road in Clarksville. You can check out their inventory online at rtrack.com.
Franco Furniture August Back to School Sale. We are giving away this USA-made custom leather sectional on August 31st at 4:30 p.m. Must come in to register. In August, discounts on all furniture and mattresses to our finance and cash customers.
You can't discount and give away furniture.
I'll do what I want to do.
I still run this show. I just let her think she does. It was my idea in the first place.
What'd you say?
Nothing, honey. Frank Roll Furniture. Best seats in the house.
When you're looking...
Nelson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
Shot clock to 10. Back to the baseline. Spits it out to Stewart. Right side, Thurman. He's open for three. Good! Scotty Thurman with his third three. Arkansas leads it by 3 with 48 seconds to go.
When I wake up in... All right, we got a couple of things to get to here before we do our 3 up, 3 down. First, the college football playoff has released their dates for rankings, dates for selection day, dates and sites for the playoff semifinals, and the date for the national championship game. So our questions as to can you have a college football playoff are being answered, and the playoff committee says, yes, we can do it. First rankings will come on Tuesday, November 17th. You'll have 5 weeks of rankings, and then the final rankings on Selection Day are Sunday, December the 20th, leading to the Rose Bowl and the Sugar Bowl as the playoff semifinals on New Year's Day, and the national championship in Miami on January the 11th. So now there were a lot of people that wondered if the Rose Bowl would be played this year with no Pac-10, no Big Ten, Pac-12, but Rose Bowl is going to be one of the semifinals, so they won't need Pac-12 or Big Ten anyway. So I almost feel like that should be one of the ups. So why don't I do that? Why don't I make that my up, and let's kick this thing into gear with 3 up, 3 down.
It's like a calling card or a shout-out or something. That sucked. The best of the best of the best of the best of the best.
What does 3 up and 3 down mean to you, Airman?
End of an inning. Well, that's not the worst part.
What is the worst part?
It's time for 3 up, 3 down.
And 3 up, 3 down is brought to you by Ritter Business Communications, 888-336-4249 or ritterbusiness.com. Ritter is here to help your business succeed with high-speed internet, voice, cloud solutions, networking, and TV service delivered by 100% fiber optic network. Gets your speeds up to 10 gigabits per second and will keep you connected with the best uptime possible. They have the best customer care team available in Arkansas. They know you by name. They are accessible 24/7, and they will check in with you proactively, plus they're locally based. It's Ritter Communications, an Arkansas-based company that is still headquartered right where they were founded over a century ago. And that's 888-336-4249 or ritterbusiness.com to learn more. All right, so I'll start with that the CFP release that we're going to have a college football playoff as long as we get to the end of the season. There had been some wondering about that. Can you have a championship where 4 of the 10 leagues that are part of this championship are not participating? The answer now is yes. Makes a lot of sense, really. I mean, if you're going to have If you're going to have a fall football season, you got to have a fall football championship. You know what else this means? There's not going to be a spring championship, and I still don't really know if there's going to be a real spring season or not. But definitely an up that the college football playoff has put out their dates today. Now we got something to go by. How about a down? And my down goes to the Pittsburgh Pirates because they're supposed to be bad. They're supposed to be terrible. We're supposed to do how bad are the Pirates today, SmackDown, and yet they are coming off of a 3-game sweep of the Milwaukee Brewers. So this lifelong Pittsburgh Pirates fan feels mortally wounded that now they can only win another 7 games and still have a chance of finishing with the worst winning percentage in the history of baseball. They even won a 1-run game yesterday, 5-4 over the Brewers. Gregory Polanco, who until yesterday had the 3rd lowest batting average among all Major League regulars, hit a 2-run homer to get the lead in the 8th inning. I mean, what's happening here?
It's my kind of team, Charlie. It's my kind of team.
Down is up, left is right, and the Pirates won 3 in a row. They're off today, but then they get a week-long road trip, 2 at the White Sox, a doubleheader against the Cardinals in St. Louis, and then 4 in Milwaukee. So can we start another losing streak, please, Pittsburgh? Because I really have to feel like something is normal.
First up for me, great weekend of WWE. And I know he's listening right now, but Pat McAfee, who's a former Indianapolis Colts punter. I mentioned him on Friday that he was wrestling in NXT.
He's a yinzer.
He's a yinzer. My God. This guy looks like a WWE, and he wrestled like I never. It was incredible to watch. For a guy that's never done it before, he looked like he belonged in the ring. It was incredible.
So the video that I saw was amazing.
Yes.
I would be amazed if a professional wrestler who's been in the game for 15 years did this.
Yes.
From the top turnbuckle, does a leaping somersault onto how many of those guys did he land
About 10 or
on?
11 guys that were sitting out there fighting. He did a somersault on them. Later in the match, did a we'll just call it a backflip for you guys that aren't wrestling fans, did a backflip, landed on his feet, then did a barefoot jump all the way to the top rope and did a superplex off the top rope.
Just the one thing that that's a former kicker that could kick ass in wrestling. This is a little bit different than usual.
Yeah.
And then he's pulling out the gymnastics moves.
Yes.
Way to go. I'm happy for McAfee because he's a yinzer.
It's fine. If you haven't seen the match, I'm sure you can find it on YouTube or you can get it on the WWE Network. It is worth your time.
Can you just give out your login information?
See, I'll give it to you.
Okay.
I'll give it to you.
That's all that really matters.
Yeah, I don't need to say that out loud.
Well, we're all friends here.
That's fair. First down for me, and it's kind of a fun down. I downloaded a new game, and I told Maddie T about this. It's called Fall Guys, and it's free on the PlayStation Network. It brought outrage in me that I have never even knew that was inside
It looks like
of
a
my
child's
system.
game.
It is. It probably is a child's game.
It's cute little cartoony characters.
My God, I get more pissed off when I'm playing this stupid game because I can't. Oh, it infuriates me, but I love it at the same time.
I think I would lose one of my appendages just to see you filled with rage. I want to see what you're like. I want to see what you're like. All 6'6", 3 bills. I want to see what that rage looks like and what that rage smells like, my friend.
I was fired up this weekend playing with my friends, so that's a soft down for me, I guess.
Okay. I got an up, and this is for Devil's Den State Park, where I went over the weekend, Saturday, for what I was hoping was for a day of hiking. And there's a lot of people around there, Devil's Den. I went on the Yellow Rock Trail. Lovely, really. Great views. Took a couple hours.
What's the difficulty level on that one? Because I want to go maybe next weekend, and I want to go on a relatively easy trail.
It's listed as moderate, but I don't know how moderate it really was. I would call it easy. I think you could do it barefoot, Matty T. You'd be just fine.
Matty T's different.
But it was a lot of fun. I did want to spend the entire day, but I tell you what, I went to dinner with Ty Friday night, big Mexican meal. And let's just say...
Oh, wait, you didn't have a burrito. You had fajitas, didn't you?
I don't
Ty had the big giant.
Yeah, I saw Ty's
monster burrito.
Can you remind me not to eat Mexican food the night before I decide to spend a day hiking? Because that only turned into like a quarter of the day hiking, all right? Because at the age 43, I just don't digest
There was a fiesta in your lower intestines.
Second down, Miguel Cabrera. Surefire Hall of Famer is suffering through the worst season of his career. The Tiger slugger at the age of 37 is hitting 181, 275 on base, 319 slugging. Usually his career numbers, 313 average, 391 on base, 540 slugging. He's dealt with various injuries, but he's not been the same player the last couple of years. Injuries have been the main reason. But, hey, who at 37 is the same as they were at 28 when you won a Triple Crown? But with 481 home runs, 2,832 base hits, Cabrera is so close to a couple of the real meaningful milestones that I don't see him retiring. I mean, I'd like to see him get to 500 homers and 3,000 base hits. Dude's a Hall of Famer nonetheless. It's always tough to see great hitters regress the way that Cabrera has. He's way down this year.
Next up for me, I got two. I'll pair up these two ups here because it's kind of some scheduling news. If you're a fan of FCS football, UCA just announced that they have added a 3-game series with North Dakota State.
3?
They're doing a pair of games at North Dakota State, and they return the favor in 2025.
Oh, so not 3 games this year? No. I know some teams have had to schedule home and home.
No, a 3-game series from now through 2025. I'm sorry, I probably missaid that. No, they're going to North Dakota State in this season. I believe it said 2023, and then they return in 2025 to Conway. So shout out to UCA for pulling that matchup off.
Isn't North Dakota State like the Alabama of
They've won
FCS
8 of
football?
the last 9 national championships.
So they're Alabama and Clemson put together.
Exactly. So
okay.
Prayer for UCA, but that's a heck of a good matchup. Also, if you are a fan of football, this announced today that on hitthatline.com and heading into ESPN 95.3 and 104.3, we're carrying Kansas City Chiefs football this year.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't care about that because I'm a Cowboys fan, but if you are a Chiefs fan out there, it's good news for you. We'll carry all pregame, postgame, and the actual games carried on ESPN 95.3 and 104.3. So there's my two ups. Real quick down for me. It's kind of a sad down, but today is Kobe Day. It's 8/24 Day, so sad day. It's Kobe Bryant's kind of a day to remember him. So,
all right, let's see. I got my last up. Jen, who is the lovely sales director inside the building where I'm working, brought a brand new puppy inside.
Oh,
today.
no.
Piper, the puppy. I love peas, with my name being Phil, of course, but this is a gorgeous little pup.
Can we get that puppy on the video stream real quick?
Well, she's not here now.
Oh,
I guess she went
darn
back
it.
home. But if she does make it back in here in her little laundry basket, then I'll make sure to put her on the air. We'll maybe even give her a microphone so she can yip yip yip. What else I got? My down, Mike Milbury, taken off the air for the remainder of the playoffs for saying that the reason the NHL bubble has worked is, quote, there aren't any women here to disrupt your concentration, unquote. Let's be honest here. It's not a matter of women are the reason that men get disrupted, that they can't concentrate. It's a man's inability to not be a sexual being 24/7. All right, Mike? It's not about the women. It's more about the men. And because Mike says this kind of thing, and look, there's been a little bit more of a backlash than there should be against his comments. It's not the women to blame for men not being able to concentrate. It's the men that you have to blame, okay? Just a fact of life. Back with you guys tomorrow. For Matty T and SmackDown, this is Phil. Get up, get out, and get better.